and welcome to the Swine Brothers Show, episode 86. That was a weak burp. Episode 86 for the 3rd of June, 2016. If you'd like to get in touch with the show,
It says off air.
No one else can. It's on there. You can email the show at ellinthemood@gmail.com. Twitter is SwineBros666, and Facebook is Swine Brothers. My name is Elliot Lindemood. I am your host. My co-hosts are...
I am the Jim. I burped while yawning.
And Mason doesn't get to introduce himself because he interrupted my intro. That's your punishment.
Okay.
Everyone knows who I am anyway.
Yes, this is Mason. He's a cartoon.
For all I know, that is the truth.
I think Mason's not a real person. I think he's some sort of caricature of a real person. I've thought that for about 3 years now.
So, it's interesting to note my workplace told me, we're cranking out the overtime left and right because everyone's buying pole shit and flags. And who the fuck's fucking with their mic right now? Like
Mason, don't do that.
Fucking someone needs to shoot that kid. Anyway.
Seriously, I don't know why the fuck.
Anyway, so we're fucking ranking up the overtime. They said, well, it's not as bad as last year, which last year around this time is whenever they had the fucking Confederate flag debacle. And since this place sells Confederate flags along with every other flag in the world.
Every other flag in the world?
Yes.
Including the ISIS flag.
I'm gonna test that.
Yes, they probably sell that somewhere.
I'm gonna go to fucking Pennsylvania and go, I'd like the Nazi flag, please.
They probably got it. I don't know. They say they sell historic flags.
Huh.
And that falls under historic.
Yeah, I mean that's why I remember getting shit for having a tiger tank prominently exhibited on my desk, and I was like, it's called history, dude.
Yeah, really. If you don't fucking learn from the mistakes of the past, how the hell you gotta fucking fix shit now? We're gonna be doomed to repeat all this shit over again. It's just gonna be from a different angle. We're gonna avoid the one angle, but we'll go full bore for another.
But people don't want to know that. They'd rather just sit at home and post memes on Facebook groups.
Mm-hmm. No, zero introspection, because, looking inward is going to scare you.
Yep, and we all have a right not to be scared. Ugh.
People need to die.
Seriously. People need to be challenged, offended, scared, everything.
Agreed.
That was a joke of the day, Jim.
Yep. Not a particularly funny one, but it was a joke.
Yes. Yeah, well, the Confederate flag thing, I remember that. That was when I first started the show. It was, I always thought it was, much ado about nothing.
Yeah, but here it cranked up sales and kept this place rolling in money for a while. So we were one of the few outlets that sold them back then. Now that I'm working there, it's like, cool.
That's pretty interesting. Oh, my dogs seem to want to get on the show. No, you can't be on the show, dogs. By the way, not too off topic, it is fucking hot in California today.
It's fucking hot everywhere.
Well, I guess...
Just relative. My one fucking friend, she was in her car and it registered at 105.
Yeah, we get that here sometimes. I guess actually we're parts of Vegas and California and Oregon are getting ready for a massive heat wave. So, hooray! That's what I want.
Okay.
Fires are going to be pretty damn big this year. You know, we live in the fucking brush fire areas.
Well, since I couldn't find any fucking main news outlets for this, I'd found 2 articles about this, but take them with a grain of salt. One's from the Free Thought Project, one's from Mother something or other, and I know I never trust Mother Jones.
Mother Jones has some good articles, but it got really yuppie in the early 90s. But it still actually has some pretty good articles.
Yeah.
And the Free Thought Project is all right, although they do have a grotesque anti-cop bias.
Oh, yeah. But anyway.
And anything with free thought, free thinking, I usually don't trust, because usually free thinking means be an atheist or
Yeah, and degrade anyone who isn't, because,
yes.
You know,
Despite the fact that free thinking would mean even finding a different religion, but, you know, whatever. I've already...
Right,
you know,
right. I mean, you could be spiritual, but not religious.
the whole damn thing just goes back to the thing that, you know, atheism in and of itself is just an idea. If you agree with the statement, there are no deities, you're an atheist. However,
Yeah, that's literally it.
However, atheist communities attempt to attach other canon to it.
Yeah.
Other,
humanism and things like... I mean, I tried reading some Richard Dawkins the other day. I got so bored. I mean, he's basically telling me stuff back whenever I was an atheist that I figured out when I was an atheist without a guy telling me this. You know, wow, religions are harmful because this, that. Yeah, I figured that out already, dick.
Yeah, and, you know, they're the cause of all war. And then you go to, like, another religion and say, yeah, well, all other religions are the cause of war, and we are the way of peace.
Religion? No.
It's the same
Religion
damn
is
thing.
just an excuse for war.
That's the thing I never understood about atheist authors.
You're not really grasping what's going on here, Mason. What I'm trying to state here is all they did was take out the word other because they try to promote themselves as not being a religion, but they're using similar religious rhetoric.
Right.
Sit there and think about it. They're saying all religions are the cause of war, yet, you know, you hear one religion saying all other religions are the cause of war. The only thing that was taken out was one word. But they're saying the same exact rhetoric. Just
Basically,
doing so from an angle that there are no deities. Ooh, wow, and you're so enlightened.
Right,
Meanwhile,
but my view is that religion is just an excuse for war. Everyone wants to have power, and they'll go to war for it. It doesn't matter if you're religious or not. People will still go to war.
That's not the point of what
That's
we were
not
talking
the point at all. You just fucking got on a tangent that is wholly
probably
semi-related.
Someone else.
And you're trying to fucking, you know, put in your 2 cents in something that, like, you're going way off topic as you trail off that direction.
I mean,
the direction here is actually comparing fucking atheist propaganda from within these atheist communities to those of religious communities and seeing how fucking similar they are.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
And you also gotta sit
on
there
that and give my view on what causes war.
You weren't expanding. You were going off on a tangent.
We're not talking about what causes war, Mason. We're
talking about similarities here. This
has nothing to do with what causes war. If we were talking about what causes war, I would say, "Hey Jim, what causes?" No, we were not. We were talking about something completely different. I have atheists on my friends list, and all they could talk about is the atheist echo chamber, also known as the Reason Rally. I think it's this weekend or whatever. And people were actually asking me would I go to Washington D.C. for the Reason Rally. If I wanted to like find a way to lose all hope in humanity and find a bridge to jump off of, yeah, because that seems like I don't. That's the thing about left-hand path religion or you know, they call it Satanism because there's more than just Satanism for left-hand path and occult, is you get more than there is no God. You even get more than there is a Satan. You get there is no Satan. You get so many interesting beliefs and you can compare them and maybe even create your own. Atheism is there is no God, and then here you have to be a humanist. No.
No, basically, fuck humanity.
Yes, humanity. But what I was saying is like I never understood these authors like Dawkins and Hitchens. I mean, I get it if you really want to read all this shit, you should have figured out anyway. I mean, it would be better if they were funny. I mean, I know some atheist comedians who were funny about it, but most like
Bill Maher.
no, he's not funny. Like Stanhope and things like that. But I read others and it's very academic, talking about, well, I am an atheist because chapter 1, religions are, it's just like, why do I don't want to read this? I want to read something that's actually entertaining. But
Yes, religions are evil versus all other religions are evil. I mean, you get the memes all the time saying, oh, religion does this. You go to a fucking, Christian blog, oh, all non-Christians do the same exact thing atheists are claiming,
Yep.
all religions do. So, like, what the fuck?
I mean, atheism, there are some communities who will turn it. I mean, atheism in itself isn't a religion, but it is a belief, the belief of disbelief. And people will tell you straight face that atheism is not a belief.
A disbelief, here's what they mean in the sense that disbelief is a lack of belief, therefore it's not a belief in the traditional sense.
But you believe that there is no God.
Actually, you believe that, there's no evidence to suggest that there is a God, so you do not believe in a God, and that's why most atheists are agnostics.
The evidence that there is a God, one word, Dark Throne. Moving on.
Ha!
All right, let's get on with this. We've
One
done
word,
a tangent
disturbed.
here.
Shut up.
You suck. Your taste in music sucks.
Yes.
Anyways.
You have a neck beard.
You have a neck of bit. Someone needs to do an impersonation of Mason's voice. I can't do it. It's quite an astounding voice.
And a neck beard is when you get scruffed just underneath, nowhere else, because you're too fucking young to get a full beard like I got.
Mine won't grow. I mean, I haven't shaved in a year. And
that used to be like that till I started hitting like my mid-20s, early 30s. Then I started growing the full beard. Neck beard is a statement that you're a youth, you're wet behind the ears, and you know jack shit.
Actually, I'm not sure that'll happen with me because my family, we're not a beard family. I've seen attempts. It's hilarious. But, yes, Mason's voice sounds like Daffy Duck on crack.
Anyways, police officer shot and killed during no-knock raid.
Yes, I used that in the title. Something about no-knock raids can get you the death penalty.
The state's ridiculous and criminal war on drugs claims another life, so you can know where this is going to be heading in this article.
Well, there are examples. One of them was in the 90s. There are two examples I can think of. One of the guys, the police came to raid. He sat up in bed and they killed him. This has been documented, and they found, gasp, a few joints. One of them was a blind rancher in California, I want to say, and they killed him, and it wasn't even for drugs. It was basically they wanted to take his property and use it for drugs. So it gets pretty nasty.
Yeah. A Killeen, Texas police officer has died after being shot during a no-knock search warrant on Friday. This is back in 2014. According to KXXV, Detective Charles Chuck Dinwiddie succumbed to his injuries at Scott and White Hospital in Temple just after 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. Dinwiddie, along with 3 other officers, were injured in Friday's shooting. Authorities went to a 4-plex apartment on the block of Circle M Drive to serve a search warrant. When Dinwiddie and other officers tried to enter the apartment, 50-year-old Marvin Lewis Guy and a 49-year-old woman opened fire on authorities, hitting Dinwiddie in the face and Officer Otis Denton in the leg. Oh, God.
Damn.
Quit doing this computer.
Jeez.
Hold on a sec.
I'm holding.
What is this
fucking
about?
computer is
Cops and
being...
shit.
Yeah, that's is what the first two articles are going to be as soon as my computer decides to stop doing shit.
Right. I remember
Yes.
there was an article on the Free Thought Project about a cops beating and kidnapping a 12-year-old girl in front of her home, claiming she was a prostitute.
Hey, cops gotta have fun. And with that, I shot Mason up.
Yeah, hold on a sec.
Yes,
Fucking-
maybe no-knock raids aren't such a good idea.
Yeah, they're not really that good an idea. And we were just starting to get where things were starting to get interesting, but the one page kept trying to fuck with me, so I closed it.
Right.
Ironically, it's the one you fed me, Elliot.
Use a different web browser.
I am. That's what I just did.
Yeah, really freaking awesome. I fed you a couple pages.
Yeah. Now, because the state claims the authority to tell people what they can and cannot put in their bodies, a man is dead and another faces 3 attempted capital murder charges. Like I said, you could see where this article's trying to spin it.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of overt conservative or liberal bias I yelled at Death Metal Underground for basically spinning a story like that or using loaded language because I'm not a fan of loaded language. I think loaded language, on a show like this because it's not a news show, but I think on a show on websites where there's supposed to be news, I think loaded language skews people's beliefs or perceptions in it may be true, but like I said, I don't like when anyone with some sort of agenda. I mean, my agenda is to poke holes in people's agendas.
Mm-hmm. According to the KPD press release, on Friday, May 9th, 2014, just after 5:30 a.m., members of the Killeen Police Department Tactical Response Unit, or SWAT, and the Bell Organized Crime Unit were attempting to serve a narcotics search warrant. They were beginning to breach the window when the 49-year-old male inside opened fire, striking 4 officers. To which I say, it's 5:30 in the morning. You said nothing. You break in through a window. Okay, throwing a flashbang, and you're supposed to expect the person to just freeze and not defend his home if you don't sit there saying this is police.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be cynical and say for all I know they did. I mean, the way this article's worded, for all I know, it could have been a knock raid.
No, this has been documented as a no-knock raid on various sites, as we're going to go from the Free Thought Project to that Mother Jones site. On Friday last May, the sun had not yet risen when a SWAT team ignited a flashbang grenade outside Marvin Guy's apartment. Officers were trying to climb through a window when Guy, who had a criminal record and was suspected of possessing cocaine, opened fire. 4 officers were hit, one of them was killed. 5 months earlier, 100 miles away, a SWAT officer was shot during a pre-dawn no-knock raid at another house.
See, I get the idea of a no-knock raid, but if someone was explaining to me, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna implement this new procedure where we don't have to knock, we just, and I'm thinking, and you're not thinking to yourself, wait a minute, this could be just a little bit deadly. I mean, at least if you knock, yeah, they could open fire, but there's A, some warning, and B, less mistaken identity.
Mm-hmm. On this other thing that happened months earlier, Hank McGee, according to his attorney, grabbed his gun to protect himself and his pregnant girlfriend. As soon as the door was kicked in, he shot at people coming through the door, says his attorney. With his legally owned semi-automatic .308 rifle, McGee killed one of the officers. These two cases are remarkably similar, except for one thing. Guy is black, McGee is white. You can see where this spin's going. But still, they're not focusing on the main thing. This is a fucking no-knock raid. And yeah, it's bullshit what's happening next. And while McGee was found to have acted in self-defense, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for Guy.
Yeah, but come on, all the prosecutors seek the death penalty if they do shit like that.
Yeah, but the whole thing was, according to this article here, with McGee, the grand jury said that it was self-defense, so they didn't press any charges. But whenever this went before the grand jury, they said to press charges against Guy. Which, yeah, that does show a bit of does show that there's a possibility, but yeah, there's also, like you're about to say, a different set of circumstances.
Well, and different juries will act differently. Okay. Different lawyers, different judges, different. You're not going to get the same sort of thing in two different.
When SWAT teams were created, they were not intended for drug raids. They were set up in the late 1960s for extreme scenarios like active shooters and hostage situations.
Or, punk rock shows.
Yeah. Or any of the really good concerts, really. I was talking to this one guy that went to a metal show. I forget which one he said it was. He said it was like back in the early 80s, and he said, my daddy always told me that you ain't having fun unless the cops are called. And he said that all you had to do was push against the shields just long enough for the ladies to get home on time, and then you just spend the night in a fucking holding cell, and as long as you didn't talk, you got out.
Oh, I know my friend saying yeah, when Rodney King happened, we weren't surprised at all because we went through that shit every night, and it was never the punks or never the metalheads who would start it. The cops or the gangs would start it, and then
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
85% of SWAT deployments today are for choice-driven raids on people's private residences. Peter Kraska, an Eastern Kentucky University researcher who studies tactical policing, testified in a recent Senate hearing.
He has to have no life.
62% of SWAT deployments today are for doing drug raids.
Okay.
The study also found that in around half of the SWAT deployments for drug offenses, no contraband is found at all.
Oh, they were bored.
Mm-hmm. I remember this one guy I was working with. He got fucking SWAT call on him because he was supposed to be making bombs or something. He was a fucking electronics engineer, so he had all these fucking circuit boards and shit lying around.
Yeah.
For work. And because the SWAT caught him on, and because the news is filming the SWAT busting in his apartment and everything went out saying it was for bombs, he got fired. But, he had his work at home with him doing this shit.
Nice.
So, that's all it was. He brought his work home, but because of a vindictive girlfriend, he got shit out of the fucking can.
Yay, so never have a girlfriend.
Especially a vindictive one.
Shit.
Wow, and apparently it costs $150 to buy a dozen eggs in Venezuela.
We do not care. So I'm not in Venezuela.
Thank you. Thank you, Anarcha. Anyway, move on.
That's Jim, not Anarcha.
No, you're being exactly like Anarcha. Hey, by the way, I know you guys are talking about something, but here's something completely different. Like, here's what social networks I think are like better.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, this guy really needs a fucking break. There was a petition put up somewhere. I'll find a link and put it in the description somewhere whenever I find it. It was on a Tumblr post. I don't know exactly how active it is, but they're saying to get justice for him, and I agree. That's fucking bullshit. If the cops aren't knocking, declaring their presence, who the fuck they are, how the hell are you supposed to know not to shoot?
Yes,
Yes.
we'll have to get the information because it has been 2 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to get the information, and we will update you, viewer, later if we don't forget. Remind us, viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Yell at us. Slap Jim around a little bit.
Because I just remembered how to fucking edit shit on this channel, so yeah.
Oh yeah. that is something we should start doing just a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting back into the groove now that I found what I was looking for.
Sweet.
Yes.
Stop saying yes, unless you have something to agree with us on. Anyway, next story.
Yes, my brother.
Shut up. Next story.
Fucking faggot. Do you tell me shut up, you fucking faggot noob?
1v1, no
Nicole?
scope.
Quick scope, no scope?
Yes, scope.
Who's that buff thing in the coat?
Yes, your
Shut
opinion.
What's your favorite band?
That's rude.
What's your favorite band, did you?
Oh my
Jim.
god, I'm dubs.
Jim, next story.
A's for everyone. How great inflation is wrecking higher education.
Well, higher education was already fucked up anyway. I guess great inflation just kind of puts the nail in the coffin. I'm so glad I didn't go to university or college or anything.
What the fuck?
A report card of straight A's might make parents paying a pretty penny for their child's college education feel a diploma is worth the financial sacrifice. But according to the most comprehensive analysis ever of grade inflation in higher education in the United States, nowadays even the most average students are likely to be given A's.
See, you're just a dick to people who show up uninvited and they leave. That's what I did. I just turned on the old dick charm and they left. I don't know who the fuck that guy was, but
Yeah, tell him to suck your dick.
he was probably a friend of Mason's.
Nope.
Although all those A's might make an American student feel or appear smart, in the long run it could make them less employable compared with their legitimately high-achieving peers around the world.
Good.
So I need to fucking go to another country in order to get a degree.
Jim, fucking, come on, let's go already. I'll fucking get my fucking passport. Let's go to fucking Norway or some shit.
Fine, we'll do that shit and see how many suicides we can cause.
Yes, let's do that. Well, shit, they're more in tune with what we do in Scandinavia than over here. I mean, they had, they have like metal bands on mainstream like actual metal bands, not slipcock. They have like actual metal bands on Norwegian television. So they're a little more in tune with what we're doing.
Yeah, or just might be.
Why don't you go to Norway then and see how you like it? See how you like the 60% tax rate.
It doesn't matter because if you actually look at, I'm not even going to start with you. If you
Well, I
actually
would
look
have.
at,
You see, you'd be able to get fucking disability. You'd be fine no matter where the fuck you go. I got to worry about getting jobs.
no, the thing about scanning is the taxes are not not as they seem, and B it's a little different than here in America. Um, I'll dig up some information for you later on if you care. But yeah, it's people look at that and they go, oh my god. And yet, weirdly enough, people in Scandinavia are like some of like the most comfortable living people in the world. So, I mean, I mean, if you look at I thought he wasn't showing up.
Yeah, no, my daughter's sleeping upstairs tonight. She's a lot better today. The reason why I wouldn't have been on was because she was asleep in the living room all last night, and she was supposed to be down here tonight.
Was she sick or something?
Yeah, I got a bit of a cold.
The reason was because she was gonna sleep in the living room. She was gonna go, Daddy, why are you such a fucking failure?
Oh
Yeah,
man.
because I hang out with blind cunts like Elliot all too much.
Anyway, continue with your story, Jim.
I degrade myself by coming on shows like this.
Good.
Yes.
Yes, a little self-deprecation is good for the soul. Anyways, it's likely that American competitiveness will suffer if we continue to water down the undergraduate education. Says fucking geology professor.
Yeah, when college students don't even know what 2 plus 2 is, but they get an A anyway.
Fucking, I was reading that fucking high school graduates can't even fucking write at a 6th grade level, and they're going off to college.
Yeah, they're
Or they
probably
might
going
learn
off
to read at a
college
7th
to do
grade.
those dumbass protests.
Yeah, and then you're able to write at a 7th grade level when you're done.
Makes me wonder what that explains a lot about Mason, actually.
Well, do you know what the other problem is? These people going to university, right? You see, when you've got the government paying your tuition, yeah, and making it very, very easy for you to go and build up college debt, because private campuses, they love taking government money as well as your money too, to put you on courses, and then you get into debt and they just take advantage of you. That's what goes on, especially in these colleges where they do a lot of the humanities, a lot of courses that don't really lead to any actual job prospect.
I think Jim could tell you all you need to know about. I think Jim can tell you all you need to know about student loans here.
But here's a deal about what's happening in universities. It's probably because, these motherfuckers are in the daycare. They were from the daycare generation. And, mommy didn't give them enough huggles, so they want to make colleges into their home instead of an intellectual space. But let's be compassionate. Let's be kind. And fuck that. Let's just trigger the little shits. It's hilarious.
Yes, but you're pot calling the kettle black. But Jim, you know a bit about student loans and how they get you like that, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm still paying for them, even though it's coming out of my fucking income tax returns. Fucking bastards. I needed that shit for a car, because I am broke, because I don't have a fucking diploma.
Lovely people.
I got a high school diploma, but as you see, it gets you jack shit with the high school diploma.
Education is an important thing. The problem is we're just not doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
What's a diploma?
See, if they would have just had a keg of beer in each class, I would have shown up no problem.
I do hope you're being facetious.
No.
No, not you, him, Ash Hunter.
I have no idea what's being facetious.
You're British. Okay. Well.
Oh, God. That's bullshit. Who cares?
You and Chaz can talk about diplomas.
Yeah, you two go off in the chat.
Oh, quiet. Stop being such a...
We don't actually use diploma here for that.
What do you use then? I actually would like
When we talk about diploma, you'd have a course like you'd have a B.Tech or an MVQ, which would give you a diploma. But now in America it means something different than what it
Yeah,
does
in
here.
America, it's the piece of paper they give you. It's the
That
piece
says you're qualified to wipe butts.
that they give you in high school. I'm from California. Jim's from Pennsylvania. Mason's from his mom, and Chaz, he's from England as well.
Diplomas are a bit like certificates out there.
Yeah.
Because
Anyway.
we do certified education here. So, like, instead of a high school diploma, you'll get what's called a GCSE, which is a General Certificate of Secondary Education.
Anyways, the aforementioned professor has become known as Mr. Grade Inflation, since he first criticized the uptick in grades in an op-ed published in the Washington Post in 2003. Since then, he has worked with Chris Haley, a computer science professor at Furman University.
I'll tell you really quick. I'll tell you when I realized that humanity was circling the drain. Whenever I, sorry, the screener just yapped at me. Sorry, my screener went off. So when humanity was circling the drain was when I found out that, because you know those, I don't know if they have them in England, but you know those standardized tests, Jim. I don't know. Did they have standardized tests when you know the nowadays they have tests that you have to pass.
Yeah, I got standardized tests whenever I was in school. It was the thing you needed to do. And they were convenient in trying to fucking make certain I never took them, even though I would have fucking aced mine.
But
So I don't understand what the fuck they were trying to prove with that, because, no.
But the thing about standardized tests is they don't count towards your grade, or at least they didn't when I was there. But they were, I suppose they were important to find out how much we learned. But because they didn't count towards your grade, what do you know? People didn't take them seriously anymore. So, what did the powers that be, if you want to call them, do to make sure that there were enough people passing? Did they try to tell people how important it is to pass standardized tests? No, they made D's a passing grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when I got a D on something and I passed, I realized that humanity its game was up. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, these two produced several analyses of grade inflation. For their 2016 update, they crunched 70 years of data obtained from a variety of sources, including administrators and internal university documents, for roughly 400 schools. Researchers found that whether a school is public, private, selective, or open to whomever walks through the door, the most common grade given is an A. And that's sad.
Fuck's sake! That is not right.
Most common grade should be a C.
Most common grade should be an F. That should be the most common grade. It's so fucking hard to pass. The most common grade's an F.
Well, do you know what? I know somebody who sat his GCSE maths a few times in a row, and he got better grades every time. And I said to him, "Oh, that's probably just because you keep sitting it so much. You know, practice makes perfect." He goes, "No, like the questions are literally getting easier." He said, "Like my first GCSEs I sat, they asked questions about more complicated math than what they're asking in the latest ones." So there has been a slight decline in education, or at least its standards for what it calls education.
And that's what I've been seeing too. It's fucking bullshit. Make the courses easier so everyone can get through, as opposed to trying to make certain we get the best people. You know?
Well, do you know what? There's a problem for education, and there's this thing called differentiation. Now, what that is that, say you're teaching in a school in England, you're teaching a specific year. you've got, or any classroom, you've got to take that classroom and you've got to sort of sort the people from capable to least capable. And then what you've got to do is you've got to assign people work that is to their capability, so everybody can feel like they've completed
See,
the
they don't
work.
have that over here. They have, you do the work or you go into the special ed classroom.
Well, what they should have is they should just have, here is the degree of work that constitutes this thing, and then obviously you can work through it at your own pace, because there are children out there who are being held back, who are being let down by their education because of stifled resource, because there's, no guidance or acceptance to advancing their own knowledge. It's like literally take your books out, read, right, go home, forget most of what I've said today, and come back tomorrow.
Well,
I'm
what
entirely
I've learned,
disengaged from this process, so you might as well be too. And that's where the education system fails children.
well, I've learned here in America, it's mostly apathetic educational system. I mean, I was never one to really care about the whole group educational thing. I you know, I've always been one for. Okay, fuck this. If you're posting on chat, I can't see it because it's just distracting me. Um, I've always been one for finding out my own things and doing my and learning my own way, and it wasn't for me. The whole organized kind of past maybe 7th or 8th grade. It wasn't for me anymore. So although I was smart, I would do shit in school because just wasn't for me. But what do you? I mean, yeah, I got so tired of the fucking educational system, apathetic teachers, apathetic school system, apathetic kids. It's just. Anyway, continue with your story, Jim, while I contemplate.
Anyways. America's professors and college administrators have been promoting a fiction that college students routinely study long and hard, participate actively in class, write impressive papers, and ace their tests. Is there anything like I was? No. The kids in my day fucking excelled at drinking.
If they're anything like my friend who enrolled in classes for no reason other than to get not a free room but a paid room, but still he never actually went to classes.
Yeah.
He was paying, so they didn't kick him out. Okay, Ash, your microphone is shit.
Yeah. The truth is that, for a variety of reasons, professors today commonly make no distinctions between mediocre and excellent student performance, and are doing so from Harvard to CSU, San Bernardino, blah.
That's why this needs to be a fucking thesis. This show needs to be a thesis in broadcasting. We'll get an A, even though I'm not qualified to be a host. I'm a crap host. And we always forget stories.
Yeah. Indeed, the report reveals that in the 40s and 50s, it was normal for students to earn a C, even at Ivy League institutions, just as it should be. But that began to change.
Yeah, I mean, the guys who got the A or guys and girls who got the A's were the respectable ones who would, you knew they were going to be big in whatever field they were in, or were going to make a change, or.
But that began to change during the Vietnam era, when professors began giving male students higher grades to keep them from flunking out, which would make them eligible for the draft. Oh boy, I love the graph here. Oh, how do I fucking screen share here?
I don't know, nor do I care.
Sidebar, the green one with the white arrow thing in it.
Yeah, I got it.
Elliot means
Can you
to
see
make
this
sure-
graph? Can you see this graph? This is fucking...
No.
I know you.
Okay, mute. Seriously, don't do that.
Yeah, who the fuck did that? And we're going to
That
kill him.
Ash guy. Dude, your
We're gonna
mic...
have to fucking find him and murder him and his family and force feed him their remains.
Chaz, he lives in Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fucking miles away. Just boot him.
I know a friend... Well, actually, I know a friend who used to live in Leeds. Maybe you can come down there.
We'll have to just fucking wait and see where we fucking shove the fucking things up his toenails and let him cry.
Yes.
But anyways, this graph here. Can a sighted person see it?
I don't know. Who cares? It's a radio show.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just found it interesting that, the way it fucking spiked during the Vietnam era, then it fucking went up fucking even further whenever they said, hey, students are consumers.
Students are consumers. That's awesome.
Fast forward to the past 30 years, which is called the consumer era, when students have been paying sky-high tuition and racking up significant student loan debt. As a result, professors are under pressure to give higher grades.
Yeah, I mean, all I hear are horror stories about student loans and shit, and I'm just like, yeah. Every time you tell that story, I'm glad I didn't go because I wouldn't get a scholarship. My grades weren't good enough. They don't give out scholarships for any mediocre blind person. They have to be like at least decent. I suck, so I wouldn't get a fucking scholarship. Maybe I get some help, but I wouldn't get that much help. So it was just like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't fucking go to college.
Yay, we're gonna have to murder someone.
College is the biggest scam on the face of the earth, people.
Mm-hmm. Another factor that doesn't help, mandatory student evaluations of college professors are commonly used to determine whether an instructor will be rehired or granted tenure. When you treat a student as a customer, the customer is, of course, always right.
I've learned that not to be the case. I've learned that in often cases the customer's a blithering idiot.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's even worse when you start having an idea that students should have a say in their classrooms. No, the reason why they're going to those classrooms is they don't know. They shut up, they sit down, they remember that rather than going out into the real world, they've decided to pick 4 more years of being a school child.
I mean, I get teacher professor evaluations because I would love to evaluate some of my old
faculty members.
High school teachers, but not because they failed me, because they were dicks and I wanted to get them fired so bad.
Yeah, which is why you have the ability for children to go to other members of faculty, and those faculty members be obligated to investigate.
He molested me. Fire him.
We could always go down that route. They'll get very, 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 very antsy then.
See, I've known some pretty shit teachers and professors in my day where they just fucking did have jack shit.
Seriously, just kick him. Just kick the little nonce out the fucking room. Thank you. You're all muted, by the way.
Yeah, I found that out. Fuck, he decided to mute everyone. I'm unmuted.
I didn't even realize I was muted.
No one
I
cares.
noticed it.
No one cares. I'm gonna find out who Ash Hunter is. I'm gonna yell at him. So keep reading.
We're gonna have to find out who the hell he is and murder everyone.
Oh, he's some little 12-year-old child.
No, he needs to be fucking tortured and have his family force-fed to him so he learns to grow the fuck up. Leave the games for the adults to the adults, or else you're going to be force-fed your fucking family. You're going to be tied to a chair, fucking have your eyeballs propped open out of Clockwork Orange, the fucking constant drip in, and forced to watch on as Mummy's fucking chainsaw to death slowly, witnessing her screams, and you're force-fed her limbs raw,
Well-
pureed.
I'll kick him. Just actually kick him.
Ash, if you fucking come back in this chat, I'm gonna fucking take your fucking. I'm gonna fucking mutilate you. Go fuck away now. Do it.
There are. I've blocked him. The second he leaves the hangout, you can't get back in. So all you have to do is boot him.
How the fuck do I block him? Keep reading, Jim. Just read. Read.
Okay. Anyways, where were we?
Yeah, everyone
Although-
block him. If everyone blocks him, he'll get kicked out.
Yeah. Although there's an increased reliance on lower-paid adjunct faculty at four-year universities, that probably isn't a key driver of grade inflation.
I think I got it.
Okay. The influence of adjuncts is probably minor at best. Everybody, tenure track or not, inflates. They also found that A's are as common at community colleges as at four-year institutions, but the data revealed a slight drop in how high marks were doled out at two-year schools during the 2000s. It might be tempting to assume that this is because instructors at four-year schools are more focused on research and publishing, while instructors at community colleges may be explicitly focused on actual teaching, which is a rarity.
There you are, he's gone and he won't be coming back. By the way, Elliot and Mason, you're both muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that. Thank God, I don't have to deal with that retard.
And also fucking actual teaching, that's a rarity. But that's probably not the case. Liberal arts colleges are among the highest grades in the community, in the country.
Are you kidding me? That's probably because that's probably a correlation between the high grades in those liberal arts campuses and
Mason,
the rise of SJWism.
let him finish the fucking story. We've spent too much time on this with the fucking ass thing. I just want to get through it.
And they are instruction focused as well. Which, yes, they are, depending upon which courses you go to. Some teach pure bullshit, others are just less bullshit. Instead, he speculated in the report that since the cost of community college is comparatively lower than at a four-year school, and students on average come from less well-off backgrounds, they may not feel as entitled to an A. Aristocracy or meritocracy? Given that a recent report found that only 14% of students enrolled at a community college ended up transferring to a four-year institution within 6 years, the preparedness of high school students for the rigors of college-level coursework could also be a factor. Perhaps no amount of consumerism can make up for a student population that is increasingly unprepared for college work or doesn't show up.
Oh shit.
Who the hell is that asshole?
No idea.
Mason, shut up.
Oh, I know who Neil Cloud is.
You know who
Your
is?
mom?
The guy just joined the chat, Neo Cloud. I know who he is.
Oh, is he Ash Hunter?
No. Alright, Neo Cloud, how's your fucking legs?
If I find out who you are, Ash Hunter,
Your family will be murdered.
I wish someone would give me a link to his profile, but everyone blocked him. It wouldn't let me block him. I'd like to get a link to his profile so I can block him myself.
Yeah. Instead, it is suggested that schools should be required to publish their average grades online. It has been suggested. They might just be embarrassed enough to stop raising their grades. I'd be happy to see a public federal database on college grading. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. And that is the solution proposed here, which I say there's a lot more than just that needed.
Let's post something for comic book resources. Chaz.
Yeah.
That was me, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it's because I posted another link in the sidebar.
Yeah, it was a fucking
Because-
other article. Don't worry about it. I'll get to it if I get to it. So
yeah,
it
but
pretty
there's
much
been
just,
sort of an update. That's all I was going to say, and that's what that second link is.
So- also, did anyone see when I actually shared my screen?
Yeah, I saw the graph.
Okay, and here's another graph for it.
I'm making this fucking 18 plus for the rest of my fucking life.
You see this graph?
Yeah.
This is the average GPA across all schools. Public schools, it's a bit lower. Private schools, it fucking skyrockets. So, yeah, it's whoever's got the fucking money gets the easy A.
Well, of course. But
Yeah.
there is reasons for that. To do with
Mm.
things like materials and classroom sizes and sort of
Traditionally, yeah,
materials.
but if you saw, back in fucking 1983, it was fucking down to about the average of a GPA was under 3, whereas now it's over 3.3.
Yeah, that's because there's a lot of corruption in the school system at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of problems with the message being used in the education system is all wrong. I mean, the messages in society that are coming out at the moment, they're just all wrong.
Yeah. Anyways, as more schools are going to fucking tech-based fucking doing everything, reading on computer screens changes how your brain works. To which I say, duh.
Pretty much.
Anyways, reading on computer screens and smartphones has made people unable to fully understand what they are reading, as our brains retreat into focusing on small details rather than meanings, a study claims. Which I say, yeah, I know this all the time.
I think whoever said this has never seen a woman read a text message.
Mm.
Because trust me, they read into that thing a hell of a fucking lot.
It all depends. Depends upon who the hell I'm talking to. The most recent ex, I gotta read between the lies, definitely, because, God,
I just don't care enough to.
that's good.
It's just, if you're gonna lie, I'll find out. I'll find out one day.
Anyways,
Aren't
researchers...
you like a human lie detector like Daredevil because of your blindness?
Yeah, you're the 800 millionth person to use the fucking Daredevil joke.
Well, there's not many blind people, okay?
There are more blind people than me.
Yes, but you're the only one talking to us.
True, I can get another one for you.
Yay. Researchers found that those who filled in forms, read short stories, or studied using computer screens tended to grasp basic facts of what they were reading, but often failed to process the high-level or abstract ideas behind the material. The findings from Dartmouth College support common fears that modern technology has shortened attention spans and left little time for contemplative thought.
Sorry, Jim, I wasn't listening. I was posting on Twitter while we... No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, right. But that is true. You know, nowadays, if it's more than 140 characters, it's TLDR. And God, I hate those fucking letters so much. TLDR, because it's like a couple paragraphs, and I have to actually use my brain to read it. I like when Jim posts long fucking comments.
Yeah, but to be fair, some things are a bit TLDR. Generally, when it's something on Facebook, it's generally
TLDR.
nothing important. And you start sort of looking. If you have to press that button, which is like show more, that's already a bad sign as to what's coming. And if that thing jumps down a lot more, then you just kind of go, that just looks like a fucking mission, that does.
That's you, Chaz. That's not me. I actually enjoy reading. And whenever someone
I'm
actually...
write a huge long blog post on Facebook and tag you in it. And you've got to read all of it. Because
Okay.
there will be a 50-question questionnaire on it.
Chaz, look who the fuck is talking. You're the master of TLDR. Or it's TLDL. Because I'll give you an answer to a question 10
Too long
minutes
didn't listen.
That's you, Chaz.
Also, sit here and think of how many of these articles I've fucking gone through.
Oh
And
my
plus,
god.
I just want to point out, you can't really say anything. You blind privilege-having motherfucker. You don't have to read anything. Everything in your life gets read to you.
Anyway, Jim, what were you saying?
I sit here and say, just think about how many articles I've read through and what's going on a year.
Dear God. And, like, articles that last 2 hours sometimes, it feels like.
Oh, remember the one about anti-Semitism
Oh,
just
no.
kept hitting
No,
us
no, no,
and
no, no,
hitting
no,
us?
no. I don't want... No, I will not remember it. I will not remember it.
Or how about the Black Metal Manifesto?
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of sorry I brought that guy up. I brought him up as a laugh, and he turned an innocent little laugh of, oh, that guy's an idiot. Remember this guy into the burst feed and the Neo. Oh, fuck.
And puppies and kittens. God, no.
But yes, Ash
It was
Hunter.
like one of those things where the words just started bludgeoning you. I mean, at least Time Cube's got some entertainment value letting it bludgeon you.
No, Time Q is entertaining, and if you start to think about it, it starts making sense if you're drunk enough. I mean, if you're sleep deprived, you could write Time Cube so easily. I was writing a joke Time Cube for Scott, and it was so easy because I'd been up for 28 hours. It was just...
What the
But-
fuck is Time Cube?
Oh, shit.
I will have to ship a link in the chat later.
Oh,
It will
God.
be glorious. Let's see how far you could get before your brain goes, what did I just read? Why are you still reading this? Please stop reading this. Why are you killing me like this? Dear God, no! See, I'm already insane, so I'm immune, but...
Oh, wait. Is it what I think it is? There was that Otis Eugene thing.
Yes, Eugene Ray.
Otis
Yeah.
Ray.
I've just looked it up, and yeah. I
He's
think
God.
I remember someone talking about this.
You have to see the web archive of it, because I don't think the site exists anymore.
I found
If you
it
get to the web archive of it, it just goes, oh my fucking God. It's like the greatest thing ever.
I found it randomly looking at like different pages. It was a Rational Wiki article, and I showed it to Jim because I'd seen enough quotes to know, but the site seemed to be down. But I thought, hey, this might be, maybe Jim's even heard of this. And then I made the mistake of showing it to him on air, and he and his then girlfriend, I think that's the reason you guys broke up.
I remember.
Because she had to sit through Jim putting
For several episodes.
No, for several hours now. One episode, putting two microphones together so it echoed. It's going off on time.
Oh, it's beautiful.
What do you remember,
That
Chad?
is something that needs to
I
be
spoke about
savored.
this with somebody a few years back. Yes, I remember hearing about this guy. Yes.
Oh, he's God. He's
Mhm.
because it's just and the funny thing is, I thought he might be faking until I saw an interview with him, which basically convinced me that he's actually insane.
Yes. And he bought a globe paperweight, which was trapped inside a cube, and tried to say that this proved his point on some interview at one point. And they
Yes, I know.
asked about, what about the top and bottom? Wouldn't that be six sides? And he just went on a rant about how six sides is wrong and four sides was right. That the cube only has four sides, not six.
Ah, but do you know what does have four sides? A
What?
pyramid.
Yes, it's called a D4. I roll that all the time for my dagger.
Yes, we know. Sometimes I've got some pretty good damage.
And magic missile.
You D4 damage with the ill behavior. Are you the renegade master?
Usually, I end up playing all the good people on a campaign. Because my players are the evil bastards destroying everything.
Tell
Yeah.
me you got
Oh.
So I have to sit there and think of all the consequences they have racked up over the campaign
Yeah, so
and start doling it out.
tell them the story about, and then we'll move on to another article after a little bit of D&D talk because we have to. Tell them the story about your first game where you were like, you had this whole idea in your head and they fucked it up immediately by picking all the bad guys.
Yeah, I sat there for months doing this campaign, just drawing up all the different flow charts, conversation flow charts, various random chances, and they were supposed to go through all this huge political intrigue and, all this crazy shit going on. And it was just beautiful. And they started picking evil PCs, which meant the whole entire good guy angle I had written it by was thrown out. That was half my work done, just out the window just because they picked evil.
Oh, I did that. I did that a couple times before.
And it just kept going worse and worse from there. But I still found ways to work in what I wanted to happen. Just had to use different motivations. And the biggest motivation for going after the main bad guy was, we killed him already. Why won't he stay dead?
Yes. We were doing Dungeons Pathfinder. You were doing the beginner's pack. And I was playing Valorous. And everyone who knows Valorous starts off as
good guy. And neutral good, that he just slipped straight to chaotic evil. And I still like that. And the moment you guys realized, hey, we could do what we want.
Well, yeah, because I
left the dungeon, and this thing's too expensive, so kill the shopkeeper. Then kill the witnesses and set the child on fire.
Well, like I said,
sounds like how I go through Skyrim every once in a while when I get bored. And it's like that one guard comes up to you and is a bit like, starts giving you sort of the grumble, starts giving you a bit of fucking lip, really. I mean, this cunt is coming up to you, the Dragonborn, a fucking wizard knight with a fucking voice that can throw him fucking miles, and he wants to lip you? Nah, not having that shit.
The only thing I know about Skyrim, my friend Bishop played it with all the mods. He played a coward named Jesus Fuck with an invisible flaming goat as a friend who used to fight trains. But the thing is, so yeah, I didn't know. I knew we had some freedoms, but I didn't know I was like, oh, we have to go do this stupid dragon thing. Oh, we can leave? Oh, cool. And then we fucking change. Anyway, next article, because we'll be here all day if we.
Anyways, back to the same article. The author suggested the possibility of distractions offered by computers had caused people to resort to the less mentally challenging activity of grasping concrete details when reading, even in the test conditions when these distractions were not available.
This is a pretty mentally challenging idea doing this show. I have to not lose my temper.
Mm-hmm.
And I can have a pretty short temper. Notice how I just went off the fucking edge on that Ash guy. Just, no, get the fuck out of here!
I just don't want to force feed him his family.
Yes, little 12-year-old kid,
He's got to grow up sometime.
right?
A bit of mental scarring never hurt anyone.
No,
Well-
in fact, it can only help. Well, except for the people you kill.
Yeah, but, they're dead, so they're in a better place. Usually in someone's stomach. Mm.
Yeah, I'm
incre-
gonna head out.
Okay. The ever-increasing demands of multitasking, divided attention, and information overload that individuals encounter in their use of digital technologies may cause them to retreat to the less cognitively demanding lower end of the concrete abstract continuum.
Sorry, I had to clap whenever Mason left, and you knew I had to clap.
Mm-hmm.
He
You
should
had
have
to
stopped.
clap.
Yeah, he's gone. I deliberately ignored what you said, Jazz, because you're a
You had to
cunt.
clap.
You have the clap. Anyway, continue.
No, everyone should have the clap. You gotta treat STDs like Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. In the study, participants were asked to do a series of tasks, including filling in a form, reading a short story, and comparing different car models. Within the group split between those doing so on paper and on a computer screen. It found that those performing the tasks with paper were overwhelmingly more capable of interpreting the meaning of the material, while those using computers would retain particular details. For example, when choosing between two ways to describe making a list, quote unquote, those answering on a computer would select writing things down, and those doing so on paper would choose getting organized.
No, I don't know. I have no idea what to say because I'm not part of this fucking new generation. I know I was born in this era, but as everyone knows, I didn't have friends until I was like 15, so.
Yeah, because everyone was a fucking pansy waste.
Yes, everyone, it's funny, people are like, well, why didn't you want friends? I was like, because no one was worthy of me.
Mm-hmm. That's how you know you got friends.
Yes.
I mean, fuck. I fucking had pretty much 5 friends growing up. And that expanded to a shit ton when I started partying. Then whenever I stopped partying, that dwindled back down to the original 5. And then I added a couple more here and there as time went on. But, and a couple died and fucking shit like that. But, it's still a small number of people I actually like to bullshit with.
And now you have us, whatever the fuck we are.
Well, you're basically a good fiend. I like to bullshit with you because you give me bans. You serve a purpose, and it is good.
I will never stop giving you bans because if you look at what I just tagged you in.
Yeah, there's like 15 bans there I gotta check out.
He was just like, hey, do you want me to give you recommendations? I was like, shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm always in the mood to check out new shit. Well, not always in the mood, but I'm frequently in the mood.
Well, it's not always new. I mean, I recognize some of it, but it's, stuff you probably never heard of. Or even if it is,
Then cool.
Yep.
In a comprehension test about a short story, those who had read it in print fared far better in questions about the story's inferences and broader narrative, while those who had read the digital document retained more information about minor details. Such as, the difference. Just taking fucking Charlotte's Web as an example. I've seen this in practice, where people can actually grasp, Charlotte was a representation of death itself. Others would say it was just a spider, and the web said this.
Yeah, I kind of got that it was supposed to be death and thing. I got it when I was 7 or so, and I was having to explain to someone my own age, 7, what the fuck it was supposed to be. Nobody could get it. They just thought it was cool if there was a talking pig.
And yes, I'm going back to a 4th grade reader, because most people read it at 6th grade level. At least within your generation, which sucks.
See, I started thinking about Lovecraft immediately, because I've had conversations with people at Lovecraft where a lot of people just think it's oh, there was this great horror and it was too scary and the guy went insane. Or I had to explain that no. The reason they went insane is because to be sane is to completely uncomprehend this because it's completely incomprehensible to the sane eye. Because it's not of this planet, not of this galaxy, not of this universe. So it's laws, but they're like, it was so scary that he went insane. No, that is not it.
No, it's the fact that they gained a fraction of a percentage of a fucking perception of what the fuck was going on around them, and that's
Yes.
what drove them insane because they actually understood something.
And of course, to understand something, that would be to rob you of your sanity because it's not sane as we know it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you... Azathoth is not... I love Azathoth. He's probably my favorite. I mean, because Cthulhu's... I'm fucking tired of Cthulhu. I mean, I like Cthulhu, but it's just... It's been done to death, and even non-Lovecraft readers talk about Cthulhu. So it's just, I like things like Azathoth, the chaotic god, master of chaos, space, and time, who just sits there, chanting along the flute players, doesn't care about you.
Doesn't even care if it exists or not. Doesn't even know if it exists or not.
Nope.
And keeps babbling on incoherently, which everyone around it says is like divine teachings made manifest. But meanwhile, it's just incomprehensible gibberish. It's fucking awesome.
And yet to humans it is utterly evil because it doesn't know or care. So it may, kill you.
When evaluating the specifications of 4 fictional cars, 66% of those who read the comparison on paper correctly say which was the best model, against 43% of those who had read it on a computer.
I say they're all shit. Here, let me design my own car model.
Yes, I would like to see that.
Dude, I've been around cars long enough, I can design my own car model.
Yes, but I want to see what it looks like. Just because you would be going off of your tactile and your hearing whenever things started firing up and all that, and just to see what it would look like with my own eyes as you go and fiddle your own way around with your senses.
Wouldn't it be great if it turned out to be like the coolest looking son of a bitch ever?
Yeah, it would. I would not deny that there is a chance of that.
Yes, it would be the awesomest looking fucking car ever. Because I know what I like.
Yes, and I'm somewhat familiar with what you like. Even though cars aren't really my thing, I'll pay attention every now and then. Just because it kills the boredom.
Yes.
And it lets me at least say something whenever you decide to bring up racing or cars or something.
Well, shit, that's why I joined your, oh god, what's it called? Dungeons Pathfinder thing, because I was bored. So, I didn't know the first thing about it. I was about to say no, and I was like, what the fuck? I ended up loving it. So, there you go.
Anyways, the researchers, due to present their findings at the ACM conference on human-computer interaction on Tuesday, said these results are not intended to be an indictment of digital technology and its impact on cognition. At the same time, if the increasing accessibility and ubiquity of digital technologies is causing a shift, it's important to consider the ramifications of this trend.
Well, I mean,
smartphones, people, become stupid. I will be your god.
Yes, god of emptiness.
I'll be god of the ants. That's already been claimed. That is me.
Yes, they dropped food at your feet after you killed their leader. After you killed them.
After I killed millions of them with one fell swoop of my foot.
That's awesome on so many levels.
Mm-hmm. And we have Japan's revisionists have different view of World War II.
I figure a lot of people in Japan have a different view of World War II. It ends with, my skin is on fire.
This is from War History Online.
Oh.
Japan's revisionists are a driving force behind a different version of what happened during World War II. Slave
Nothing happened. Oh, nothing happened. There we go. I just offended the entire Asian community.
Slave labor, torture, and sex slaves for the Japanese troops are all versions of a wartime Japan according to most of the world, except for a small but growing group of people in Japan itself. Oh, God, the rape
Well,
of
yeah.
Nanny. Oh, God. You're going to rewrite the... God.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you ask, well, I was reading J.G. Ballard's autobiography. He's a British author, obviously, as Chaz knows, and he was talking about like how he was interned in the Chinese because he was born in China even though he was British because his father worked for a company over there, and he was interned and he watched the Japanese for no apparent reason beat a rickshaw driver to death. Just why not?
And I'm going to butcher this name, but one of the most prominent revisionists is Toshio Tamagami, who was chief of staff for the Japanese Air Force. Even though he is educated in civil, he believes in a version of Japan's role and actions during the war that differs from the mainstream. What is interesting is that the rhetoric is becoming increasingly popular in Japan, and especially among its youth, who are getting fed up with their country constantly having to say sorry for China and Korea. Why the hell would you have to say sorry this many generations removed?
Look at the fucking Germans, man. Look at the Germans. There are still people who won't forgive the Germans for what they did in World War II.
Yeah. Fucking, that always pissed me off because, oh God. One of the things that they would do is fucking tell you, hey, you gotta join Hitler Youth. And if you refuse, they sent body parts of your family to you in a box saying, no, you're joining Hitler Youth. And now you fucking go to jail if you ever join Hitler Youth. So It's like you had really no choice in the matter. But now you're going to go to jail for being compelled to.
If you wanted to be, if you were in business in Germany, you had to join the the German Nazi Party. Much like in Italy, you have to join the fascist party if you wanted to get anywhere in influence, business or anything.
Yeah, really. People just are losing sight of what the fuck was and fucking trying to rewrite shit. That's why this shit disgusts me, because you're gonna fucking put a happy face on bad shit so we don't learn from the bad shit we did.
Yep.
You don't have to apologize for shit that ain't your fault, especially this many generations removed.
Yep.
You just have to accept where your fucking roots come from, say that was fucking bullshit, and move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, actually, I can't speak. I think my great-grandmother was from Germany on my dad's side. I don't know about my mom's side, but, yeah, I probably have some nasty, well, fucking my extended family, but I have probably some nasty, past generations I don't know about, but I don't really care. They're not me. I mean, there's this whole thing about, the family, well, it's the family and it comes back to haunt you. It's like, wait, as far as I'm concerned, the family isn't me. I'm me. I'm Elliot Lindemood.
Yeah, really. Fuck. Tamagami isn't just happy to sit silently either. He ran for the position of governor of Tokyo, and while he didn't win, he came in fourth with more than 500,000 votes. Nearly a quarter of those votes were from people under 30 years old.
I mean, it might be.
To feel bad.
I mean, it might be, youthful, exuberance, and then later on they'll fucking realize. That's I want to see all these student protesters in 30 years or whatever. I want to see all these militant atheists in 30 years. I want to see these Japanese in 30 years and just see how, how much they've changed their tune.
If everyone's alive in 30 years.
Well, he will be, unfortunately. Well, I will be.
Anyways, he says that the Allies and victors of World War II have forced a version of events onto the people of Japan. You mean reality? I mean, yes, there's going to be some propaganda here and there, but there are hard facts you have to face up to in your country's past. And remember, if you were born after the fucking war, you really had no part in it.
Yeah, but people like national pride for whatever reason. Makes them feel good to be part of something bigger than themselves, like a country or a religion or a cult or whatever. Kill them all.
Mm-hmm. And he says that Japan should stand on its own 2 feet and write its own history. Joy, let's make shit up. We should start writing the history of Bonerland, which is now the fucking new name of America until I think of a better one. In his version of events, he says that Japan was not aggressive, but was instead fighting for freedom against white imperialists who had dominated the Asian region for hundreds of years. Bombing of Pearl... a lot of what the fuck was going on wasn't against white people until fucking America decided to join in the war.
Well,
I mean, there was some white people, in different provinces over in Asia that were attacked, but majority it was other Asians being attacked and Pacific Islanders being attacked.
The government was openly militaristic at the time. It was openly, very militaristic. It wasn't. Oh God.
So you're saying newsreel footage from the era was somehow computer enhanced to include all this shit that didn't exist?
Yes, that is what he's saying. Oh, that's awesome on so many levels too.
He talks of being proud of Japan's role in fighting back and trying to evade rule by European nations. He also does not corroborate that Japan inflicted atrocities on its fellow Asian people, which the fellow Asian people have. God, this is as bad as fucking the way they rewrite history over here. God. Rewrite anything that's inconvenient and makes you look bad.
Jim, we are very kind to the Indians.
Yes, so very kind. God. Please, just fucking... Can we set these fucking revisionists on fire?
Yes, I think we can, actually.
I
don't think anyone will miss them.
And it's like fucking... this sounds so much like the fucking revisionist bullshit I had to put up with back in the 90s debating my neo-Nazi friends. So there were certain events that they liked to fucking... Oh, God.
Yes.
At least the intelligent ones were like, yeah, we only deny the Holocaust because it pisses off the Jews, but we know it happened. While the nitwits were like, yeah, it never happened. I know for a fact it never... God.
It never happened. Well, today's propaganda, yesterday's propaganda is tomorrow's truth.
Fucking bullshit. He calls Japan's invasion of Korea as an investment in Korea.
They invested in guns and... Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, just like we invested in, this entire country.
We invested
pretty much
in
in different points, especially during, the fucking U.S.-Mexico war. Yeah, that was good, that was just us investing in Texas, not like,
We invested in Iraq.
Oh, yes. Well, technically, you can't really go there. We could say we invested in fucking... because there's an ounce of... Fuck you. Fuck you for having that ounce of truth in that statement. God. I
know. As soon as I said that, I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, it'd be better to say we invested in Afghanistan. Or we
invested in Vietnam, or we invested in Germany, or well, we
we
actually kind of
invested.
did.
Yeah, but we invested in Korea.
I just, as soon as I fucking said we invested, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you fucker. Along with Taiwan and Manchuria. Mhm. Some nice investments there. Oh, God.
We invested by killing all the people.
When asked about Japan's invasion of China, and in particular the documented killings at Nanjing in 1937, he said that it is untrue and that there are no eyewitness accounts.
I seriously think he's just doing this to piss people off.
Nah, I bet you he's trying to fucking do this because he doesn't feel comfortable about having that in his history, you know.
I mean,
And you have to remember one thing. This is all while fucking Japan's trying to get higher U.S. accountability for things that they still do over there when our soldiers misbehave at bases over there.
it's funny because no matter whatever country I plan on moving to has some sort of atrocities, either this country or Sweden, which, yeah, okay, it's had the longest era of peace in history, but still, the Vikings, did some pretty brutal shit. England, England, of course, which had thousands of years of never-ending peace, not. But I don't care about fucking, what country I live in and its atrocities. I find them interesting. I like reading about, the militaristic exploits of the old Brits.
Further, when pushed on the use of Korean women as prostitutes for Japanese troops, he says it's total fabrication. He is not alone, and many nationalists in Japan are joining up to this version of events. Oh, God.
Yeah, but I bet in Japan, most of the people who aren't just laugh at them.
Nah.
It just seems like, oh yeah, World War II never happened. Of course not. You're a moron.
Meanwhile, Japan's current prime minister, Shinzo Abe, has been apologizing for the actions of his nation during the war. Why?
Because you have to feel guilty about what you did 70 years ago, because that was still in people's lifetimes, which is actually an interesting thing to think about. You can think about the Civil War and shit like that, and that's not in people's lifetimes, but there's still people out there who remember World War II and all that, and that's still in people's lifetimes. I'm guessing once that they all kind of go, in the next 20, 30 years, I'm guessing that'll stop. Or at least,
I mean, if you don't like what your fucking country did during that war, sit there and learn from the lessons and don't repeat the fucking events.
yep. And well, at least they're apologizing. At least they're not denying it. At least they're going, yeah, okay, our country fucked up. I mean, that's.
Yeah, our country fucked up probably before I was born, so
But it's better than what Turkey does with the Armenian genocide, though.
Oh, God.
I mean, I get it, it's a long time ago, but still, they could have just admitted it and just moved on with their lives. And instead, they still insist that it never happened. They went on vacation. I mean, so yeah, I get your point about not apologizing, but at the same time, I'd rather see someone apologize and own up to it than it never happened.
Although when it comes to the Korean women, he says Japan's military never recruited them to specifically service the country's troops, and that they acted of their own accord.
They just like having them around.
See, I might say that might be 50-50 there. I mean, I've heard some shit, so yeah, it happened, but exactly to what portions, and there's going to be a lot of mucky water there.
They liked having them around, for like they would just stand there.
You always need a hooker just to stand there.
Oh, I know people who do that too. Just like get them for like a couple hours to like be friends or whatever.
Oh
They're the
god.
most fucking pathetic people I've ever met.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, that's about what I got here.
I'm itching my head. Shut up.
Yeah. 'Cause the other thing kept crashing my computer, so I'm gonna have to fucking look for something that won't. And
It's called.
Chaz was tired and had to jet.
Aw, Chaz, he was tired. And by the way, I'd like to say get 2 albums. Get Dark Funerals, Where Shadows Forever Reign, that comes out today. It's very good, blast happy Swedish black metal, as only the Swedes can. And get Necrotic Entity's new album. I think it's called Satanic Ritual Organ, which is 6 songs of satanic rituals with an organ. It's not really black metal, but it's evil. It's actually quite beautiful from the black metal goddess herself. Get those 2 albums if you like black metal and interesting kind of ritual organ ambient music. I like both, so get those. And I'll have more album recommendations. We might do a show with Jesse, who's a metalhead. We might do a show with Jesse someday because I've always wanted to do a show about metal exclusively, but we never. But we'll talk about that when it comes further to the fucking thing. Anyway, this has been the Swine Brothers Show, episode 86 for June the 3rd. March 3rd, what the fuck? June the 3rd, 2016. If you want to get in contact with the show to tell me what a dick I am to whatever his name is, who, no, I wasn't, he deserved it, is ellinthemood@gmail.com. Facebook is Swine Brothers and Twitter is SwineBros666. For Chaz, for Macy Wacy, who still comes back, I don't know why. For Jim, I'm your host, Elliot Lindemood. Kill Ash Hunter, and we'll see you later.
When driving and listening to metal, you murder everyone. It is a good day.
Yes, it is. And buy those albums I told you about.